Thank you very much. My name is Chuck Goldman, and I was the corporate entertainment for last year, if you remember me. So they didn't invite me back to sing, so I've decided to sing my entire presentation to you today. Okay, I've got some shaking heads. No, that's not a good idea. I'm about to talk about something very personal and very deeply disturbing today. So I hope you guys work through this with me. But first, I'd like to ask two questions. The first question is, who's a Star Wars fan? Hands. Okay. I don't know if you know this, but we have a Jedi in our midst. Did anyone notice that Daniel and Ewan McGregor have never been seen together, ever? Okay, we literally have Obi-Wan Kenobi with us today. So Daniel's Obi-Wan, okay, and he's a Jedi. The second question is, who has started a company in this room? Who's been a founder in this room? Show of hands. Oh, this is good. So this presentation is for all of you, okay? The last thing before I begin is I have to say that I have a lot of friends that have joined us this year for PODIM. John Hawthorne and his wife have joined us, which is awesome, and he gave a great talk earlier, so thank you, John, and thank you for putting my picture up on the stage, embarrassingly enough. And I also have my co-founders of the new company, Boundless, in the room with me today. So this is for them. This is dedicated to them. Anybody knows that investors invest in team first. Michael Skock is one of the most famous investors in the United States. He founded a company called Northbridge, which became one of the most largest VCs in the United States, and now he has his own VC firm, another firm called Underscore VC. Okay, so it's all about the people. All right. Michael came into my office when we were about a week old. He sat down with me and he said, I want this company. I want you. I want this team. I'm going to invest in this company. And it was a little bit like a little Darth Vader moment for me. So think about team, okay? What does a bad co-founder look like? Elizabeth Holmes lied so bad to her investors and her co-founders that she convinced herself it was the truth. She threatened everybody in the company daily not to talk to themselves, the media, okay, any potential customers, about the impending failure of the company. She was not a good co-founder. Anybody think Elon Musk was a bad co-founder? Well, did anybody know that Elon blamed his senior management for the production shortages of the new Model 3 when they were 1,500? He was the first to blame other people, okay? He also said, vacations will kill you at PayPal, all right? So, I mean, this is a pretty interesting guy. How about this dude? Okay, great co-founder, right? Zucker came out. What did he do? Cambridge Analytica. Who did he blame first? Sheryl Sandberg. Okay. He's also the single point of failure for Facebook. He's not a great co-founder the way he set that company up. Okay, wait a second. This guy is an awesome co-founder. Okay, and the reason why his slide's up there is because, see, right there. I didn't understand the Slovene, so I thought the slide would make sense, but no. He is actually the best co-founder you could ever ask for. He's the perfect co-founder, as a matter of fact. I can't think of anything I'd change about Urban. He's family. So the message here is this. You can't spot a co-founder by how they look, okay? Beauty's only skin deep. You have to go deeper. It's about communication. It's about personality. It's about attitude. But at the end of the day, it's about trust. Can you trust the people that you're about to go into business with? Okay? No matter how great someone is at communication, their winning attitude, you just can't work with someone that you can't trust. You have to get to know the people. There are 3 things that you should spot, okay? Do they say please? Do they say do they say thank you? And most importantly, do they say I don't know? If you work with someone who doesn't understand I don't know, you've got a big problem on your hands. You have to understand people, and these are 3 good hallmarks to listen for before you start a company. All right, some basic rules, okay? Let's establish some ground rules. No friends and family. I know that's hard because you like your friends, you love your friends, all right? And today we'll talk about friends. Equal commitment. Is everybody on board with working? Because this is going to be 4 to 8 years of the most grueling experience. Hopefully great, but there will be grueling experiences. You have to get references. It's kind of funky, but as you are formulating the company, talk to each other, okay? Ask each other for people that they've worked with before. If they're offended, then there's some red flags there. Okay, agree on culture. Agree on the meaning of success. Agree on how you're going to exit the company. But these are 5 things, I would say, rules for co-founders that everybody should live for. 76% of founding teams are not the same team after 1 year. 76%. So think about that, all right? It's a cold, harsh truth, especially when investors get involved. People go. And if you look across the table, all right, and your best friend is the CTO, what are you going to do? It's going to happen. You're going to have to face that or confront that. All right, so I'm going to tell you 3 stories, very personal stories. And I tell these stories not because they're sour grapes or I'm talking about being regretful. I'm talking about learning, and hopefully I'm going to share some of the knowledge today with you. That is a real tattoo of 2 best friends, okay? Now, I don't know why you'd want to put that on your arm, but that's a real tattoo. I found it, okay, by Googling BFF. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so this is the story of the first company I ever founded. Okay, I was 22 years old. I was in Charlotte, North Carolina. I had no children. I can say that today my son Jacob is with me, so this is a story for him as well. This company was called Applied CD Technologies in 1996. Okay, and I got to know a friend who lived down there for a number of years. We became very good friends. We did everything together. And he convinced me, he said, look, I'm a good sales guy. I know everybody down here, okay? You're a good tech guy. You're a good technology guy. You know all the tech stuff. So let's start a company together, okay? And I quickly realized that he had no professional experience starting a company. He was a salesperson at a very big company. He'd never sold anything by himself, okay? Way overstated his experience. He ended up blaming me for sales that were not happening. And that was something that, you know, if you can't take responsibility, all right, you've got a problem. That's a personality flaw. And at the end of the day, he took advantage of our relationship. And at the very end of the day, he just sold me. Okay, so I thought he was a good sales guy, and he sold me on starting the company. And that was a lesson learned. I will never start companies with best friends again, and I urge you not to. Story number 2, the criminal. Now, images have been replaced, but I don't know if anybody knows who this man is. This man is Bernie Madoff, and he will probably go down as the biggest financial criminal in potentially the history who got caught. So when you're starting a company and you're trying to communicate with your co-founders, if you start getting strange requests, okay, this is a company in New York City that was on the cutting edge of biometrics. And the founder brought me in. He was the CEO. I was the COO. He needed a great operations person, or he needed a great person. He hired me. That was right. And all of a sudden, these strange requests started to come up, things that I felt uncomfortable with. Okay, never really shared information. I think you know people like this, very, very close vested. Okay, I found out that he actually stole the IP to found the company. It was stolen IP. And I actually eventually met the person who created the IP. He actually stole money from the board, from our initial investment. Used it to pay his son's college tuition. And then at the end, he brought me into a conference room. He was on the phone with the board, and he put it on mute. And he said, I need you to ask the board a question, and I need you to tell the board something, which ended up being a lie. Well, that was my last day at the company. So just be careful of who you get into business with. Ask the hard questions, especially when it comes to things like intellectual property. And if you're feeling strange, you're feeling like your co-founder is doing things that aren't right, it's not right. Okay, don't shield that, don't put that under the cover. The last story is the backstab, okay? So this is a hard story. So I'm going to tell you a story, and this is the very fresh story, okay? So when I started this company, I started with not a friend, okay, but someone I was introduced to, and I had a lot of respect for him. He had a great reputation in the industry, but right off the bat, he had to bring in his guys, his team, okay, people that I didn't know, and he wanted to give them co-founder status all of a sudden. So he and I founded the company, then all of a sudden there were 2 other co-founders, okay? So that to me didn't sit well, all right? I was the CEO of this company, and found out that there's secret meetings taking place, very important meetings that I wasn't invited to, okay? Okay, when I brought relationships to the company, he had to own all the relationships, okay? It was then, you introduce these people to me, and then I'm going to talk to them from now on. I'm going to go out, I'm going to do the negotiation, I'm going to close the deal, okay? He sent emails to our customers that said basically that I was responsible for the product delay, that I was asking for too many changes. When he was responsible for the product, he had a team that built the product, and yet I got the blame, okay? And then the last and most hurtful thing is that I raised the money for this company, and he and his team, those 3 co-founders, I found out that he went to the board and said, we're resigning today unless Chuck resigns today. And so I went over to my investor and I sat down. This is the guy I'd known and worked with. He's a billionaire, he's a great guy, his family, really, really close friend. And that's another problem. But he said, Chuck, I don't know what to do. Your team's resigning. What am I going to do? I said, well, what do you want me to do? He said, I want you to take a bullet. I want you to resign. So that was really, really tough for me to hear. So you start looking in the mirror and you start saying, okay, what's wrong with me? Like, what are these things that I'm not learning, or are these new things, okay? And at the end of the day, failure is learning. I mean, that was said before and it will be said again, okay? So those are 3 interesting and very personal stories, and hopefully you can learn a little bit from that. So how do you choose the right co-founder, all right? It just comes back to simple math. No friends and family. Get equal commitment. Get the references, agree on culture, agree on the exit, all right? Don't start businesses with friends, that's the bottom line. And make sure that what you're building and culturally is the right company that you want to build. You got to know yourself in order to know who you're starting a company with. So if you don't know who yourself, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what you're good at, and you don't know your tolerance level, don't start a company until you know that. Okay, know yourself first, And then you can spot other characteristics and other qualities in people to balance the company. So don't end up like this dude. That's one of our new dogs, by the way. So anyway, at the end of the day, I'm thrilled to be back in Slovenia, and it's the most enjoyable week of the year for us. So thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Ewan McGregor.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Actually, Conor McGregor a lot as well, but tentatively if I'm drunk or not.
Oh, you like Conor better?
Yeah.
You look like Ewan, though. Ewan.
Punching part I quite like. However, according to your experience, what are the main challenges startups face? That's a broad one.
Money. No. Money is a big challenge, but money can be had. Actually, money ends up to be not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is team, culture, and fit at the very early days. Exactly what I just talked about. So making sure that you have a balance, you have a team that you trust, you have a team that you want to go conquer the world with. So it's really about the people, and that's really where it breaks down in the early days. And then later it's scale and money, but it's really about people first.
What is the most underestimated element by building a company?
The most underestimated element is the assumption that you have a product that people want.
No, that's broad. I mean, straight, yes. I mean, the thing is, no one was waiting for you, right? Good one. And it says, what's an absolute red light or actually red flag for you? Not red light, but red flag.
If your co-founder's mother is calling them 3 or 4 times a day, not that my mother doesn't call me 3, 4, 5.
I have to ask, did that happen?
And yes, this is a family affair. My 88-year-old mother is here, and I'm so proud of her for being here again this year.
Have you had a co-founder whose mom phoned him on a daily basis?
No, I'm just made that up.
I'm just being on the safe side.
I just made that up. No, I'm not that stupid. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you never know. However, you'll still be hanging around. We've got 16 seconds left. That's not enough for a question.
Any other questions that we could have? Active Q&A is always the best.
Yes, we could have that in the lunch break.
Perfect. All right, yeah. Perfect.
Chuck Goldman, thank you very much.